Afternoon and welcome to another episode of Photoshop Party. Today we're going to talk about transparency lock. And I figured it'd be a small crowd because people are going, transparency lock, what the heck is that? Well, once you see it, you're going to go, oh, cool. That can really help me. I hope. If not, then you just wasted a half hour today. I apologize. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and start playing with transparency lock. And you can see my screen very well, I hope. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. Go to bridge. And let's start with Clarence the Cross-Eyed Lion. What I'm going to do is I'm going to crop him first just to make it easier. Let's go with that. Nice square crop. And select subject. So we'll go to W, select subject. And I don't know if you guys have played with the current version of object selection tool, but it takes a second and then it will select your subject for you. And if you have multiple subjects, see, it just did it for me. If you have multiple subjects, it'll select multiple subjects and you can click on each one to play with it. So let's click on him and he is now selected, and we'll go to select and mask. And get that out of my screen area. And let's go ahead and refine hair to get his mane selected. To me, that's good enough. Output to new layer with layer mask. Click OK. And not a bad selection, all things considered. They have improved the AI a whole lot. A little bit lost in the hair there, so we can brush that back. B for brush. Make it a little smaller using the bracket keys. Wrong way. Go X. Select it, bring it back in. Paint it in. Wow. Life is good. So I'm going to click, right click on the layer mask there and say apply layer mask. Click. And now he's all by himself. So if I turn off the background, he's up there by himself. So what I want to do is I want to paint him. I'm going to make him a lion of a different color. A little thing from Wizard of Oz. So I take my paintbrush tool. Let's go ahead and make it. What color did they paint the horses? Nice and green, right? So if
Emerald,
I want to,
of course.
Emerald, there you go, for the Emerald City. If I try to paint, oh man, I get outside the edge, go back, try it again. Oh man, I went outside the edge. Well, let's make it easy. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a thing on the layer panel that says lock, and it looks like a checkerboard. That is your lock transparent pixels. So I click on that, and now it won't allow me to paint outside the box.
Wow.
So let's go ahead, change it to color mode. So we're doing that, and we'll do about 50%. So I'll hit the 5 key and it goes to 50% opacity. I'll even make my brush huge and paint. Holy guacamole, I didn't go outside the lines. That's what transparency lock can do for you. So let's hit Command Z to undo. We'll turn off transparency lock. Another way to do it would be to hold the Command or Control key and click on your icon, and it selects the lion. And again, same thing. You can paint them. And do the same thing, Command D to deselect. And it does just about the same. But if you have transparency lock, you don't have to go through that step. How many people did not know about that one?
Not I.
Cool.
did.
I taught something today. Yay. How many
Hey,
people
thanks,
did know
everybody.
about
See you next week.
it? I told you it's going to be short today. How many people did know about that one?
Yeah. Michael, can you go back and do that again with the transparency lock? I'm curious how it does on the fine hairs on the top of it, on the top of the main, because when
Well,
you
it
had it
depends.
selected, it looks like it missed the edge, the outer edges of it.
It may have.
I'm curious with the transparency lock if it does a little better up in there.
It just depends on my selection. Not bad, but
not bad. Similar,
but not quite. It just depends how good your selection is. If I turn off the background, that's the selection that it did.
Yeah.
So that's totally fixable. We'll hit Command T, we'll free transform, hold Option or Alt. And now it does perfect because my selection is bigger than the actual background. So it kind of hid it a little bit. So that is transparency lock. So let's go ahead and close this guy. Go back to bridge. And Roger's not here today. This is Roger's car. And what I want to do, let's fix this license plate so nobody knows who it is. And we will B for brush. Option click to get the color of the plate, which is that gray color. Make my brush really small. Right click, hardness, 100%. I want a hard edge brush. Zoom in a little bit more, Command plus. Opacity should be 100% and not color mode. I want it in normal. When it doesn't work, you start looking to see why. Change my mind. Let's leave that one back and get rid of that one. And we'll change the T to an I. Just for fun, got to paint it in. That way nobody knows it's Roger's car.
A little late.
Maybe a little bit, but what the heck. There we go. And then go back to W, which is the object selection tool. Give it a second to select the car. Give it a second to select the car. It's getting faster, by the way. When I first got 2022, I couldn't even get the blue to pop up for me. And you can see in the upper left-hand corner, it selected that car too. But if I click on this car, okay, we got the tire selected. So we'll take the lasso tool, hold the Option or Alt key, get rid of the tire up there in the upper left. And looks like it has the car selected. So I'm just going to do a Command J to bring it up on its own layer. Cool. Being that I don't, go ahead.
Did you just create another layer, Command J? I mean, a copy of that one, or you?
Yeah, if you hit Command Z again, we'll bring it back. Okay. It's on it right now. You have a selection made, and if you hit Command or Control J, what that will do is bring your selection up on its own layer.
Okay.
If I didn't have the selection, it would just duplicate the layer. With the selection, it will duplicate just the selection. So
Okay.
Command or Control J, and then I'm going to put a layer mask on it, and we're going to zoom in and B for brush, X to make it black so I can paint out. I'm doing this really fast, so bear with me as I do it.
Now, would you use lock on that so you don't go outside of the lens?
Well, I'm not taking the sides of the car off yet. So I'll lock it in a little bit. But what I want to do, okay, I have straight lines here. So I'll click on the corner, hold the shift key, click on the other corner. And that'll get me straight lines all the way across. What I'm doing is when I repaint the car, I'm basically masking out what I don't want to paint. So we're taking it to the body shop, but we have to mask it out first to be able to do that. And we need to get rid of the tires over here. So let's go ahead and not paint the tires. Black, I'm not worried about. It's the gray that's going to show up. Because when you do painting on it, it will show the grays. And we'll take out the windshield really quick. In fact, let's go all the way down, take out everything down below. And get a clean windshield or semi-clean windshield. If I was doing this for real, I would take my time and not zap it so fast. But being that you guys don't want to see me sit here and paint out stuff, I will make sure that you don't have to watch as I'm doing it. And we'll take out the little Jaguar and the corner over here. We don't want to change that color. Reflector. So basically, I just took away the whole body. Now, if I click on the lock, that means I can paint any color I want and it only paint the car, I hope. What color are we doing today?
Go red.
You want to go red?
Sure.
Okay, let's get rid of apply layer mask. So that's gone. And how red do you want to go? Red or
Fire engine.
fire engine red it is. I hate firemen. And we'll go 50% opacity just because. And you can see with the transparency lock on that it's not painting outside the lines, except right up here in the upper right. You probably can't see that very well. It might be a red car to start with though. And it is. Okay, I thought I was painting out there.
You're better than you thought you were.
Dang. Oh, missed a spot. Hello. Right there. We'll put a second coat on to.
Michael, why would you have it on normal instead of color as far as the mode goes?
Because I thought I changed it to color, but I didn't.
Okay.
Operator error.
I thought I missed something. Thanks.
Well, actually, he did to make sure you were watching and paying attention. You'd ask the question. So
Oh, good answer.
Okay, let's try that again. We're going to go to color mode, and I don't know why. Oh, because I had the layer mask up. When I clicked on the layer mask and I tried to change it to color mode, it wouldn't allow me to go to hue, saturation, color, or luminosity. So that's when I applied the layer mask. And now I can go to all the different modes down at the bottom of the brush. And we're going to go 50. Do you know why that happened?
Didn't lock it.
I unlocked it when I went back in time.
So when you're in color mode, does it still, if you go over it again, will it still do a second coat like it did in whatever normal mode I think you added it?
Because I'm painting at 50% opacity, yes, it will. If I bump it up to 100, we'll go bright red. I'm going as fast as you know what? Forget that. Let's just do
Is there a
option.
mode that doesn't, or is there a way to paint it that it will not double up on it, add another coat? Because if you miss a plate, like before you missed a piece, went back and then you ended up over painting what you already had painted.
Yeah.
Is there a mode that doesn't do that? Or
Yes.
a brush? Or
If I'm
something?
painting at 100%, if I try to paint now, it's not going to paint because I've already done 100%. So that's
So
why
then
I
if
do.
you wanted to lighten it back to 50, would you paint 100% and then just drop the opacity?
Yeah, I could drop the opacity right
Would that
now
work?
on that. And that's at 25% opacity, 35. Let's go to 50 and 100. 100. Okay, we'll do it that way. So you can drop the opacity on that layer and get away with it. But Anthony doesn't like red. He wants it a different color. No problem. Let's go to our adjustment layers. Go to Hue and Saturation. What color does Anthony like?
Well, I've always liked them, like a real pale blue.
Hot pink.
Ooh, oh, what? Ooh. Oh.
There you go, Pitmobile. But you'll notice one thing. Do you see the tint all the way around it? Everything's gone tinted that color. Well, let's fix that. Go back to here. There's a box at the bottom of the properties panel right there that has a drop down arrow next to it. That's creating a clipping mask.
Oh, shit.
Exactly.
Sorry about that. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry about
Is there a swear jar in here?
that.
There should be, huh? If you look at between the two layers, the property or the adjustment layer has a little arrow, down arrow there, shows that a clipping mask is applied. If you Option or Alt click between the two layers, you can turn it on and off also. So you have it in the properties panel, and you also have it with Option or Alt click between the two layers, and that'll fix it for you. And the cool thing about using the adjustment layer is you can change it again. There we go, gold. Perfect.
Looks like Snoop Dogg's car.
Snoop Rogers' car.
Kind of like that.
So that's one way to paint it.
So you can go to either one of them, drop down on the properties, or you can go between them and do it the same thing.
Yeah. If you go between and click and do nothing, nothing happens. It'll bring up the dialog box because I clicked on the box there. But if you hold the Option or Alt key and click between, it turns it on and off for you.
Now you just need racing stripes.
Okay.
The last one you did though actually tinted the brick, you know, on the ground, that greenish one, it actually tinted the brick on the bottom.
Yeah. I turned the brick green instead of gold. In fact, the buildings behind turned awkward color too. So well, let's leave it like that. Command Shift Option E. What that does, it takes all the layers down below and makes them onto one layer. So let's go ahead, just for fun, go to Filter, Neuro Filters. I want to see what it'll do. I'm going to click on Colorize. And it takes it almost back. Click OK. Here is the after, here's the before. It almost brought it back to the original color. Not quite, but almost. By hitting colorize. Is that bizarre or what?
You know, the car on the far right-hand side changes colors with you.
Car on the far right has what?
A truck, that red truck.
Okay.
It changes when you colors. You go to a gold or whatever, or
Ah, interesting. Okay. That's fixable. Put a layer mask on. B for brush. 100% opacity. And it didn't change him. Okay, we'll change that one. There we go.
You might want to move Roger's steering wheel to the correct side of the car too while you're at it.
Okay, let's do that.
Just flip the image.
I was just going to do that. Command T. Whoops. That's because that's what's selected. Let's go ahead and go up here again. Command Option.
Of course, you think they think they're on the right side. We're on the wrong. So
Let's get rid of that. And we will hit Command Option Shift E, which gives me the deal. Command T to free transform, right click, go down to flip horizontal. Now the letters are backwards, but that's okay. Nobody noticed that. And now it's back to where it should be, right?
unless you try entering in competition.
Judges aren't smart enough to catch that one.
Oh,
wait, Roger.
Nothing
was
to
it
see,
just now?
move along.
Why do I see your next competition being not quite as successful as this one was?
My ASP collection was better than this one, but I'm happy with my scores. I did okay. Let's do, what do we want to do with this?
turn into a Jaguar.
Well, that's easy
Sprinkle
enough.
water on it.
We have to flip this horizontal. So we'll go image rotation, flip horizontal. Zoom in a little bit so we can see what we're doing. Lasso. Command C. Command
Roger's
V.
gonna need therapy after this.
Command T to make it a little bit bigger. There you go. That's now pretty dang close. Let's do,
I think we should have painted a Firebird picture on his hood on that. That would have been fun.
let's go to select color range. And I'm going to click on this area right here. And we'll do a layer mask. Nope, invert it first. So we'll do Command Shift I to invert, layer mask, Command D to deselect. And there you have a Jaguar bug.
That's just wrong.
It is wrong. We have to do Command T to transform. Got to line up. There we go. B for brush, so we're in the layer mask. Get rid of that. Because it didn't grab the whole color.
A Jag bug. That's
A
good.
jag bug. There you go. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a Jaguar bug. Now, what we could do, let's get rid of this layer real quick. Hit delete, goodbye. What you can do is do select color range and then click on the bug. Or what we did, was it last week? Hue and Saturation adjustment layer. We'll we'll take the finger up here and select the color. So what we're doing is saying, this is the color range that we're going to do. And then we can change the color of the bug. But it also changes the background, so you'd have to mask that out. The fastest way probably would be to do an image selection, object selection, and paint them out. So
Can you do that again? Can you do that again?
I can. In fact, let's do it the easy way. Let's do,
He keeps asking, it's like you can't do it more than once.
well, he's going to end up paying for it. So let's go ahead and we're going to do a select object thing really quick. In fact, let's just click on select object, see how fast it goes. And it got most of it fairly good by itself. So let's do a Command J on that. And then we'll do Hue and Saturation adjustment layer. So you click on the yin and yang, go to Hue and Saturation. And the hue slider, we'll just click on him and go the color we want. There we go. Perfect. And being that did the color behind again, no problem. Go back to here, hit our adjustment, turn it on off. You can see the colors adjusting there.
That still blows me away.
At least he didn't swear.
I'm totally off one.
Michael, if you're working on a layer where the background is dropped out, because all you've got on that layer is the car, why is this affecting the background?
Because it's affecting all layers. So let's go ahead and turn that off.
Okay, I got it.
Let me turn that off and go back a couple of steps. Let's just go to history. Hue and Saturation layer. Delete layer, select subject, and we'll make Command J to bring it up on its own layer. So now it's on its own layer by itself, right? For the most part. If I paint on it, let's go ahead and do a transparency lock. I want to see if this is going to work. Now we'll do the hue and saturation adjustment. Tweak it and it does everything. So you would still have to do your layer mask to make it apply just to that layer. So if I turn the layer mask, you can see the buildings turn a funky color. But it's great for advertising for the paint shop to show that he can match colors. Any questions?
That was worth the price of admission.
Totally cool. I feel sorry for the people that didn't show up to see this one today, because that one really helps you. You learn a whole lot from it. So, and I've used that more than once, and every time I forget about it and I take Sandra Pierce's class, she reminds me and says, oh yeah, I forgot about that, and start doing it again. So cool. Any other questions? Going once, going twice. We're going to kill the recording if I can find the record button.
I have a question for Mel.